Hey everybody, welcome to our next video in the series of HTML and CSS tutorials. Today we're going to be talking about how you use links in HTML to connect different pages, connect to different documents, or generally navigate around the internet. So links are also known as hyperlinks. This can be a little bit deceptive because there's an actual link tag that we will indeed be using later on. However, for a link that we're talking about, a hyperlink to a different page, we actually use the A tag. So A is, back in the day, is what they would call an anchor, which is why it's an A. So the tag just kind of stuck. So A, although it seemingly makes no sense, it actually has roots in the beginnings of the internet as it goes. So the A tag is for our hyperlinks, which we use to go and jump to other pages. The page you're on right here, that I'm on right here, is W3 Schools. It has some extensive information about links, and it's always a decent spot to go double check if you forget something or if you want a little bit extra information. And they have some really nice information about the hyperlinks right here too. So let's go ahead and let's put this into action. And we're going to go and we're going to systematically make sure that we set up our document the right way. The thing you should always have up and handy is that skeleton, which are our basic tags we need for every page. So Control A to select all of our text and Control C to copy it. And we'll go ahead and we will do a new file. So you can go ahead and pop that on, Control V, put it in there, and then just double check, make sure your language is indeed set to HTML. And you'll also know because the tag should probably turn different colors for you. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do File, and we're going to save this inside of your proper folder. In this one, I'm doing in our video series here. So this will be the 5th one for me. I'll just call it links. And you can do the same thing, just call it links. It'll be just fine. So then you can go ahead and change the things that we always change. Put your name in there, put the date here, and we're going to be covering Intro to HTML links, and we're going to put the A tag. Just as a reminder to us that the A tag is the one that we use for this. We'll put links in our title here and our assignment name. HTML links, and then change your name, the date, and the hour here as we always would. Then hit Control S to save your file. So links, there's a couple of very specific things to think about as we're doing links here. The first one is that our links go on not by themselves, but usually they go inside another tag. In this case, we're going to use the paragraph tag to put our links in. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to put our first tag in. So as you do this one, I think it's important to make sure that you do it in order. So the very first thing that we want to do is we just want to type our A tag, and like all other tags, the text that you see on the screen will go between those tags. So we're going to say this is a link to Google. Now, to make a link work, you actually need a couple different bits of information. The first one, so we're going to put this thing in called an attribute to add additional information for the browser to use to actually locate the thing we're talking about. So after we have our text here, between the A and the caret, we're going to hit that space bar. So we have a little space between our A and our caret, and href is the thing that we need. It is a hyperreference. So now, some things that are very important to think about here is when you put a link on, it's important that you copy from this bar up here. So, although we can type google.com and my Chrome here will take us to the page, if you look carefully, you see this https:// thing. That's actually the protocol that Chrome adds for us, so we don't have to type it. However, in HTML, we require that. So if we go back in here and we paste what we got from Google into there, that should work for us. We'll do Control S, and we'll go ahead and preview this in our default viewer. And we'll just make sure. Links are wonderful like this, because if you did it right, you go here, you click it, and it takes us to Google. So that's how we know that we did it right. Now, one thing you notice is that when we click this, we go away from our original page. It goes away. And generally speaking, on a website, if you are fortunate enough to get people to visit your website, you do not necessarily want to just send them away. So if we go back into our notepad and we add one additional attribute here, right between that quotation mark and the caret here, and we add a target and underscore blank is what we're looking for right here. So underscore is the shift and the key next to 0, and then blank means it's going to open up in a new browser tab. So with that modification, if we go back and we try this again, when we click it, our page will indeed open in a new browser tab. So we have both our page and Google open at the same time. That is indeed what we're looking for, because we want people to stay on our site. So let's go ahead and let's do a second link here. While we're in our browser, let's go ahead and we'll get that. We'll say that our second one is going to be Amazon. So Amazon is the same deal. We go and we realize that Amazon.com is not the entire way to locate this particular site. So we get the HTTPS, and we'll go back in here and we'll do the system that we've got. So we'll go to the next line here, type our A tag, and we'll say that this is our link to Amazon. Then, after we have the text and the tags finished, href equals, whoopsies, then our double quotes, and then we'll say our target equals, and then our underscore, since we typed it once, underscore blank actually comes up for us. And that's what we're looking for here. So we'll paste in our Amazon link, and we'll just go double check in our browser. And then when we refresh here, our Amazon link comes up. Now you notice that they come up side by side, just as if it was normal text in a paragraph. So when we click our link to Amazon, it works. Everything is good, but we don't necessarily want it to be right next to each other. So for this particular case, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to add the break tag. So when we go back to our page here, it'll go, just like for a paragraph, it'll just go down to the next line. There are multiple different ways that you can actually do this and have it work out really well. We'll learn a little bit more about that in our CSS portion. But for now, this will work just fine. So let's do one more for good luck. We'll go ahead and we'll do a link to, we'll say Twitter. Now the other way you can go and you can kind of not have to actually go is you can generally copy it from right here. Now in this case I'm not going to. I'm going to copy from up there again. And you see that we have the protocol as you would notice by now. And we're going to do a fun little shortcut. So Control D is a button that will duplicate what you have on the previous line. Nice shortcut. Link to Twitter. And we're just going to go ahead and we're going to erase what we have and put our Twitter link in. So when we go and we refresh our page, we have our link to Twitter that works. Everything is good. So whenever you put a link on your page, do it always the same way. Copy from the address bar, never type it, just copy from up there, and always test it to make sure that it works. You never want to put anything on a web page that you have not tested. Okay, so we have our links right here, indeed nested inside of our paragraph tag. And what you can actually do is you can nest them between other things as well. So what we're going to do to divide it up, we'll just put HR, we'll put our line, we'll put H3, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put links inside of a list. So this list, we're just going to make a UL. And like all ULs, we need LI to put an item into this list. Now as it goes, we also want this list item to be an anchor, to be a link. So we go ahead and put our A tag inside of our LI tag. Now notice the way that this works. The last tag, this is an actual rule for web pages and typing HTML. The last tag you open is the first one you close, which means we have our A tag that closes before our LI tag. So that's the order in which they would need to close. So now this will go the same way as it did before. So we'll just say this is our link to Google again. And we'll type the attributes. Just like we did before. And we'll just take our Google link right here and put it inside of our list. So this should, when we go in and we refresh our page, be just like that. We have our line we put on, we have our H3, and then we have the beginnings of our list. We click our link, it takes us to Google. Same procedure. So the last one we'll do is we'll go, and this line we'll do Control D, we'll duplicate it, and we'll change it, we'll make it our Twitter link. And we have underscore blank, which will be our link to Twitter. And when we go in and we refresh our page again, we should then see our proper result that works when we click it. So that's exactly what it should be right there. That is our first venture into our links on the internet and how we actually go and we connect different pages to make that make the internet more user friendly. So this is your first little dive into that. Please make sure that you go ahead and you submit your code, as we always do. And sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties here. Make sure that you submit your code, and good luck to you.